Hi, welcome to yoga class. My name is Lindsay McDougall and I'll be your teacher for a continuation of last week's class where we worked on Vashistasana and some variations, which I think is going to be really nice for this time of year and to help in your practice. So we're going to start on our back on our mats, and make sure you have a strap nearby as well as a block and optional blanket for the wrap-up part of the class. So with your strap, just keep it off to the side and grab a block to place, just outside of your mat here. And we'll get grounded, just lying back, palms face up. Back of the head and neck are long. Hips and abdomen are relaxed. Getting used to feeling the earth, feeling supported by the earth. Let's take some deep breaths here. Deep inhale. And exhale. And you can even bring one hand to your lower abdomen to allow the inhale to really descend, to let the abdomen fill and rise. And exhaling, letting that space about 2 inches under the belly button be part of the anchor of the breath. Exhaling completely, exiting out anything that no longer serves you. And then taking that deep inhale, bringing in some more light, some more passion, some more joy, some more gratitude and love for yourself. Exhaling, releasing everything of the past that's come up to this moment, and arriving here present as we take that inhale. Washing clean our organs, washing the heart, cleaning the mind. And then begin to breathe normally. Maybe return your hands to palm face up if you had it on your abdomen. And find that deep place within, that deep place where everything matters, where what's important to you can shine. Using that as a balm to the heart. Good. The last couple breaths here, just sealing that in. Very nice. Let's take a little knee bend here. Take your right knee in, pull it into your arm, and circle the ankle one way and then the other way. And really pull that knee into the right front of the armpit. And exhale, switch sides. Left knee in, squeeze the knee. Press down the tailbone, extend the leg that's long, and take those ankle rolls. side to the other, clockwise, counterclockwise. Good. And exhale. Bring both legs out in front. And extend your arms over your head behind you. And pull the shoulder blades down the back. You may have to tuck your shoulders down and underneath you a little. And then point the toes to the sky. Extend the heels. Pull in the abdomen and lengthen the entire spine. Low ribs in. So arms and legs are engaged and extended here. And feel that emanation from the core. There is a little small of the back which comes up. Really, there's that grounding of the sacrum. And it's okay if the low back is lifted a little bit. Good. Take a nice inhale. Extend another inch, even if it's in your mind. And exhale. Release. Grab your strap. And I'll demonstrate on the left side. So taking the block out to arm's length on the left. Take both sides of your strap. And bend the left knee and bring that strap to outside the ankle so that the two ends you grab on the inside of the ankle. So it creates a little cap around the ball of the foot. So with that grab inside the left ankle, extend the heel and lengthen the entire abdomen. Pull that left hip down. That groin crease is going to be moving down. The right leg is extending. And try, if you can, to drop the left shoulder a little bit more. And then we're going to extend this out to the side. So opening up the left leg, rotating it externally, and then placing about where the outer calf is, outer shin, it's going to come to the block. So I'm going to adjust my block here. And that'll create a nice lift, as well as a nice extension. And then from here, ground back into the core. Pull the left hip down as you extend the heel. Bring that right hip down to touch the mat. So don't let the right hip kind of fall or float up and over to the left. Keep the right hip down and grounded. And notice how this feels. We're tucking the sacrum under, keeping the low back long, letting the chest rise and extend. Good. And then exhale, bring the leg up. And then tuck the chin in, pull the abdomen towards the low back, and grab the outside of the foot and just come to a crunch here as you bring the leg towards the face. Good. And exhale, lower down, release the strap, and then feel the difference of one side to the other, and bring the block to the other side. So placing it on your right, about arm's length away from your hips. And then inhale, bend the right knee, take both ends of the strap, and then create that loop so that the strap is looped around the outside of the heel and you're grabbing both ends inside the ankle. Good. Inhale, extend. We're just going to keep the hips square here. Drop that right shoulder. Extend the left leg long. Right hip crease is moving down. Heels extending, so you're going to feel this through your hamstring and calf. And then breathe into that abdominal space. See if you can get a little bit longer through the breath, through the legs and heels. Keeping integrity. Pressing the heel up. Big toe mound is pressing forward. And then we'll take this out to the side. So keeping a hold of the strap with the right hand. Just gently externally rotate the leg until it makes contact with the block. You might have to adjust your block to get that outer shin contact. And then point the toes down. Really feel that extension. Ground the left hip. Press down through the top of the left thigh as you open the right heel. And then move the abdomen, the navel center, towards the ceiling. So the navel center wants to kind of go over to the right. So bring that navel center towards the ceiling, even though the right leg is doing something totally different. Good. Last breath. Exhale. Pull that right leg back up to center. Grab the strap in your left hand. Right hand comes outside the foot and then curl up. Pull the leg in. Just a nice stretch and kind of getting into our core a little bit. And then exhale. Release the strap. Release the leg. Place the strap on the side, and we'll make our way to our tabletop. Tucking ankles under, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. And then just take some intuitive circles with the breath to warm up the spine. As you inhale, you're going to be extending, pulling elbows back. Reaching the heart forward between the arms, and as you exhale, you're going to be curling up into cat posture, tucking the tailbone, gazing at the navel, tucking the chin, and then any variation of this. So going from side to side, as you inhale, extend, as you exhale, round. Any areas that feel asleep in the side waist, the side body. And then let's move into some cylinder work here. So imagine your rib cage is moving through a cylinder. And you're touching all sides of the cylinder. If there's any kind of stuck area, maybe lingering there, to just coax the body to touch every part of the cylinder. Rolling shoulders down on that extension. And reverse directions. So warming up the side ribs, side waist. Good. And then come to neutral spine. Pull the abdomen in. And let's tuck the toes under and extend back into downward facing dog. Lift the hips back, press into the heels, drop the head, shake the head no and yes. Release the neck. And then inhale, lift the heels, come high on the balls of the feet. Rotate the hands externally, pulling the biceps towards the ceiling. And then exhale, extend the heels away. Maybe they even touch the floor. As you press back firmly into the tops of the thighs. Legs in, just getting that nice steady down dog. Good. then bring the toes together. Lift the right leg. And from here, get heavy in the left heel, right hand, and then lift, if you can, get onto the fingertips of the left hand. Maybe even lifting the left hand up in the air. And then exhale, downward dog, feet together. Inhale, heavy on the right foot, lift the left leg behind. Press back into that right heel, and then lift the right hand ever so slightly. If you're bouncing on the pinky finger, or you lift the hand all the way up. So let's take some core work here. And exhale. Come to a wide downward facing dog. Lift the heels. Hips, feet are kind of in a little bit wider than the hips. And then let the heels fall over to the right, keeping the left shoulder down. And notice how that twist feels on the left obliques, left hip, the left shoulder and tricep. Inhale, heels up. Exhale, drop those heels over to the left. Keeping the right shoulder down, keeping the shoulders square, but with this change in the feet rotation, allowing there to be that opening in the right side of the body here. And inhale back to downward facing dog. Come forward to plank. Breathe, lengthen, lift the abdomen, tailbone to heels. Look forward. Can you roll those shoulders forward? Find your plank here for another breath. And then exhale, slowly lower down. You can drop your knees if you like. And we'll come to a low cobra here. Actually, let's take it to a sphinx. So bring the forearms flat on the ground, elbows under shoulders. Roll the heads of the shoulders around and back. Lift the chest, lift the kneecaps, and extend through your sphinx as you pull the forearms towards your hips. Feel that nice spinal extension. If you're feeling your low back, engage the legs and press the sacrum down. Lift through the low belly. I'm noticing when I lift through the low belly, I get some congestion towards my diaphragm, so continue to lift up through the front of the chest to the front of the neck. And exhale, lower down, hands by the waist, untuck the toes, elbows in, core strong, press back into child's pose. Inhale to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg back. Sweep it forward to the right wrist. Drop the left knee. Untuck the left toes. Crescent pose here. Sweep the arms up. Sink the hips. Reach the side ribs. Keeping the tailbone tucked and the abs engaged here. Exhale, left hand down. Raise the left knee. Open up into a low twist, low lunge twist. Reach the arm up by the ear, extend, and exhale. Place the hands. Take a vinyasa, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. High cobra. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg back. Sweep it forward to the left wrist. Right knee down, untuck the toes, crescent. Squeeze the glutes, engage the abdomen, sink the hips. Feel that stretch in the right front hip. Reach those sides, the outer shoulders up. And exhale, drop the hands. Right hand in, lift the right knee. lift up into your low twisted lunge here. Bring that arm up by the ear. Remember to roll that right shoulder down the back as you twist. And then exhale, you can take your vinyasa. Slow and controlled with the breath. Downward facing dog. Inhale, lift and lengthen the hips. Exhale, extend the heels. Inhale, lift the right leg. Sweep it forward to the front of your mat. Look forward. Exhale, left comes to meet it. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweeping up, reaching to the top of your mat. And exhale, mountain pose. Let's do a little Surya Namaskar, B. So we'll come into our chair, inhale, sink evenly into those heels, sit back, squeeze the thighs, reach the arms forward and up. Engage the front body in such a way that you can extend the hip points, the sits bones back even more. And exhale, let's take a forward fold here, tuck the chin. Lift the sits bones, inner thighs back. Spend a moment here. Inhale halfway. Exhale, prepare. You can step back to your plank or hop into chaturanga. Lower down. Inhale, let's take a moment in upward dog. Pull the quads up, tailbone down, side ribs forward and up. And the chest is lifted. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left leg. Open up the hip, bend the knee. Reach all the way to the right side of the room. And then pivot on the ball of the right foot, dropping the left leg behind you. Come into your wild thing. So reach the hips high. Left arm, I have it free. Get those lungs moving. Exhale. Square off the hips, three-legged down dog. Sweep that left leg forward to left wrist, right heel down, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, come into triangle pose. Lengthening out the left leg, and then heel toe my right foot in a little bit so the heel intersects the back arch. And then from here, squeeze the quads up, tuck that left hip towards the right heel, hinge of the hips, and place that left hand where it's comfortable on the block. I like to do the shin, and open up the chest to the side. So as you do this, sometimes the tendency is to kind of stick the butt out and kind of let the chest come more towards the middle of the mat. I want the chest to be moving towards the top of the mat and then just cinching in that lower body so that the hip points, the front bones of the hip are coming up and the tailbone is coming down towards the right heel. So instead of letting the tailbone stick out, we're pulling that tailbone in. Right hand on hip, half moon, lift the right leg, open up the right arm. And then again, pull in on the abdomen, lifting the pubis towards the heart as you extend the heart away from the hips. And then exhale, square the left leg. Right leg lifts as you drop the right hip to a standing split. And then exhale, right foot meets left, coming back to standing. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, bend the knees, come into chair. Sit back, squeeze the knees, get long in the low back. And then inhale, come all the way up to standing. Exhale down. Good, let's do this on the other side. Bring the feet together. Inhale, sit back, reach forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, place the hands, hop or step back to plank or chaturanga. If you're hopping, you're going with bent arms to chaturanga. Inhale, take a good breath in, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg. Open up the hip, bend the right knee, reaching those toes to the left. And then getting heavy in the left arm and pivoting on the left ball of the foot. Drop that right foot behind you and lift the hips into wild thing. Reaching the arm away. And then exhale. Come back to your three-legged dog with the right leg lifted. Exhale, bend that right knee in. Come to your warrior one on the right side. Sweeping the arms up, back heel heavy. Tuck the tailbone, exhale, warrior two. Lift the chest, extend the arms. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Reach behind you. And then exhale, triangle, long right leg. I'm going to pull my left foot in a little bit. Squeeze the thighs up. Tuck that right hip down towards the left heel and hinge to the left as you come over that right leg. Find your arm placement, open up to the ceiling. And again, just notice the low body. Is the torso coming more towards 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock on your mat? Or can we try and bring that torso towards 12 o'clock, pulling that abdomen in? What I like to think of as kind of like cinching the low body, cinching the waist up, hip points up, and then letting the heart be free. That's almost more of a back bend here at 12:30, 1 o'clock with our triangle. You want to look up at your hand, and then we'll take this to our half moon. The left hand on hip, bend the right knee, hop up. Right hand comes outside of the right pinky toe. And then again, tucking the tailbone down and lifting the pubis, reaching that left leg away. And as you bring that tone into the lower abdomen, that's going to help extend the heart. Good. Drop the left hand, square the hips down towards the front of the mat, standing split. Tuck the chin. You can bring that right hand behind the right leg as you lift the left. And then exhale. Both legs meet. Inhale halfway. Exhale chair. Sit back, squeeze the thighs, and then let's come all the way up. Good. Okay, so let's try moving into our Vashistasanas here. So when I say going into a tree pose, what I'm talking about is bringing that foot onto your leg. So we're going to do this on the mat horizontally. So just be ready for that instruction. So let's try it out. Inhale, come into your chair pose. Fire up the glutes, lift the chest. Nice long low back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, place the hands and step or hop back. Take a vinyasa here. And we'll be back in down dog. And for our prep, we're going to take the left leg back. We're going to sweep it forward to 3/4 up the mat, toes pointing off the mat. Drop to the outer edge of the right foot. And inhale, lift the hips. So this is going to feel like a nice stretch for the outer hip. And you're going to get some of that contact with what it feels like in the torso and the shoulders to really lift through the hips. So press into that outer right heel, roll the right shoulder back, and then can you pull those hips up higher? I'm almost even starting to feel this in my obliques, my right side of the ribs. Good. Exhale, come back to plank. And downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg. Sweep it forward to 3/4 up the mat, toes pointing off the mat. Drop to the outside of the left heel. And then open up to the right side. And then using that torque from the outer edge of the left heel, and then rolling the shoulder down the back, lifting from the power of the left glutes, lifting those hips, opening up. Can you get those hips a little bit higher? Maybe this feels like a really nice, delicious stretch of the outer hip. But what I want you to focus on is rolling those shoulders down and lifting those hips. Good. Exhale, plank, and take a vinyasa. Moving back in down dog. Inhale, come to plank. And exhale, drop the heels over to the right, and we'll take Vashistasana 1 here. Right biceps moving forward, hips are lifting. And then from here, can you bring the top foot on your calf, or maybe even on the inner thigh? And I actually find it easier to do this pose with the foot closer into the middle. There's kind of less weight to lift the hips, so that you can really start to lift those hips high. Good. Abdomen in, tuck the tail, and remember what we did at the beginning of class. Just take a couple more breaths here. Tuck that left hip under, and keep the hip bones wide and stacked. Good. Take a vinyasa, optional 3-legged vinyasa for level 3. Moving back in down dog. Inhale, lengthen, roll the outer shoulders down. Let's take a quick child's pose here, knees wide. Drop the tailbone. Just to reset a little bit, just to give the shoulders a small break for what's next. Biceps up. Tucking the tail. moving safely in accordance with nature and kinesiology. And then inhale, come to downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet. Nice wide back of the heart, lifted sits bones. And then inhale, we'll come to plank. Bring the feet together. And then just drop both heels to the left. Open up the right arm. Vashistasana 1 here. That left bicep's coming forward. And as you do that, the left shoulder blade is going to engage and lift those hips. From here, you can bring that right foot inside the calf into your tree, or inside the inner leg. And then again, those hip points are stacked. So there's a tendency for that right hip to overextend externally. So we want to bring that right hip to be on top of the left hip and really work this as more of a hip lift. Okay, drop the right hand, take a vinyasa here. And come back into down dog. You can take a child's pose here if you like. And then we're going to go into the Vashistasana with the toe hold. So try it out, check it out. And we're going to have the same exact principle we did at the beginning of class, where we had the strap in our heel, and that the strap, the toe that had the strap, that hip's going to come down. So you're going to see what I mean. So I'll demonstrate first. For those of you in down dog, you can watch me here. So we're going to come forward into plank, and then drop the hips over, and then find our tree. And then from here, we're going to drop the knee towards the long edge of the mat, grab the toe, and instead of kind of going into, I can't even do it incorrectly, but kind of going into like open so that the left hip's kind of falling backwards on itself, we're going to keep that left hip squared and tucked under. I would rather you be in the heel coming forward, eventually moving up, than to be doing this incorrectly from the side. So let me show you a little bit on the left side. So that heel's going to come up, and then notice my low back. Instead of doing this where you see my low back's kind of crunched, I'm actually tucking it under and lifting it. So see what I mean. So let's check it out. Let's come into our down dog. Come forward into plank. Drop the heels over to the right. Vashistasana 1. And just take it to your edge. If you're not ready for the third version, that's fine. Find your edge. You're getting stronger every time you do it. So go to the next level for you. From here, bring that left hip stacked. Remember the strap that we had in the beginning. Grab the toes. Extend the heel. Open up the heel and keep that left hip tucked under. Okay? And then exhale, take a vinyasa. We'll try this on the other side. Upward facing, downward facing. Inhale, come forward to plank. Drop the heels over to the left. Vashistasana 1. Heel to inner thigh. Keep that right hip stacked on top of left. You're going to drop the knee forward to grab the toe. and then extend that heel. Imagine you have that strap. And eventually, come to your full extension of Vashistasana, rolling that right hip under, extending through the heel as if we have the toe hold in the strap. Again, tucking that hip under, tucking the tailbone under. Okay? So that's our primer for this week. And let's come, when you're done with that, take a vinyasa or come back to child's pose. And we'll move onto the floor here. Inhale, tuck the ankles underneath of you, and let's take a nice twist here. So bend the right knee, bringing the heel outside the left hip, and then hug the left knee in, placing the foot flat on the ground outside the right knee, and then open up the chest, lift the chest as you pull the knee in. Left arm comes up by the ear, and then we're rotating it around to the back. Bring that right arm, the crook of the arm, the elbow around the left knee, and looking over that left shoulder. Or you can even bring the outside of the arm. And then exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, look over that shoulder even more, bringing that chin over the shoulder. Just feel that nice squeezing out of the abdominal cavity. Nice detox. Reset. Good. And then exhale, unwind, bring the hands over to the right. Counter twist here, lift the left hip. Good, let's try the other side. Left knee is bent on the ground. Right knee is up by the chest. The right foot is flat outside the left knee. Inhale, lift the chest as you pull in the shin. Obviously, the other option is to have the leg out straight. That's on the floor, the left leg straight. But if you can manage it, since we did a lot of hip openers and stuff today, keeping both knees bent. And then inhale, lift, exhale. Bring that right hand behind the sacrum, around left elbow pin. Pull in the right knee. And on your exhales, you're going to twist even deeper. Looking over that right shoulder. Inhale, get nice and long. Open up the chest, and then exhale, squeeze. And the sits bones are grounded here. Last breath. You get a little deeper. It's amazing how twist really expands the breath. And then slowly unwind, bring your hands over to the left. Lift the right hip in a counter twist here. Good. And then let's swing that right leg around. Grab a blanket if you need. And we'll come into Pigeon Pose. So if one of your hips needs that extra support, we're going to start on our left side, so you can, if you like, to create a little bolster with your. If you're into pigeon and you know you don't need a bolster or anything, go ahead. But if you like, another really nice thing to do is to create a bolster with your blanket, and then just sit on the outer glute on top of the blanket so that the heel is kind of touching, and then you can come forward like that, and then when the hips roll square on top of the mat, there's that bolster going through, touching both legs. So these are some options. You can keep that back leg bent and be on the left side of your body as you fold over. If you have more flexibility, you can roll the hips square, coming to more of the top of the right thigh. And then extend the arms in a prayer position, drop the head, place the forehead on the mat. And really let the sacrum sink, the outer shoulders sink. Depending on your hips and your flexibility, you might be feeling this more in the groin crease or more in the outer IT band. Both are really good places, and the surrender that it takes to let the breath unbind these tight places. It's going to be a nice counter posture. We did a lot of hip opening. So allow the front body to just sink in even deeper. Letting the forehead be a little heavier. Last couple of breaths here. Inhale, pressing up, slowly rocking over to the left side. Make your way to downward facing dog. And just pedal out the feet, maybe extend the left leg. Just unwind a bit more. And then if you took the bolster on one side, keep it for the other side. Even if you're an advanced yogi, it's super nice to use props and just feel it a different level. Some days we really want to push it, some days we really want to hold and be held. So listen to what feels super nourishing to you. Okay, so bend that right knee from your down dog towards the right wrist and lie onto the right side of the hip. So again, I'm demonstrating this blanket position. So it's going to come, you're basically going to sit that outer right hip right on top of the blanket. Left knee is bent behind you, and then you can come forward. This would be the most preliminary posture. After a time, maybe that left leg extends out more behind you, and then the left hip comes down on top. So the hips are square. And extending those arms into a prayer. And for those without the blanket, just listen to your body in terms of how you want the back leg bent or straight. This one side is different than the other, and we have to truly humble ourselves, which is what's one of the most wonderful things about yoga, to allow that healing, to allow our bodies to self-heal. Propagate its own self-healing. Dropping the head, surrendering to gravity, upper body sink and be heavy. And if at any time you feel your knees or something, just come out of it a little bit, adjust how you need. Bring the foot up the mat or press through the ball of the foot, and that should help correct any knee discomfort if you adjust the feet or come more onto the side of your body. Let's take some more breaths here. Staying in the human humility. Asking our body what it needs. Just a couple breaths here. Next exhale, rolling off to the right side. And then swinging that left leg in front and making your way to down dog. If you need to stretch out the right leg. And we'll make our way to our backs for final resting pose. So as you come onto your backs, you can come to happy baby. Pulling the knees and giving the knees a hug. Maybe grabbing outer edges of the feet or big toe mound and extending one leg, the other, both legs. Keeping the sacrum flat and extending through the low back. One of the best postures of yoga, very aptly named Happy Baby. And then from here, we can do Tabata in Reclined Cobbler pose. To start, you can bring the heels to the mat and then the knees laid out wide. You can bring the hands to grab the ankles. It's kind of a chest opener like this. Eventually, after a couple minutes, you can extend out to your Shavasana. So it's up to you. If this feels like a good, opener for the heart and counter pose, another option would be heels wide and the knees knocking into one another, hands at the abdomen, and then eventually coming into Shavasana. Tucking the shoulders under and just letting the whole body be soft, open. It's something that's the most wonderful thing about yoga is becoming open, surrendering to our freedom in the body. Freedom in the body brings freedom in the mind and freedom in the spirit. And then we give that freedom to others and show them how to be free. Dropping in to your final resting pose in these next few breaths. relaxing the backs of the eyeballs, letting the eyes fall into the back of the head heavy, the jaw releasing, the cheekbones and all of the muscles of the face really melting down into the heart. Letting the breath be shallow laps of water along the shore, inside the body. Feeling the courses of prana all that energy out into our fingers and toes and back into our heart. Feeling so much love. Truly knowing ourselves and our strength. Giving us this gift of acknowledging ourselves, validating our experience, who we are. Stay with this feeling inside of the body, growing our prana and our light. Beginning to deepen the breath here. Gathering in that deep inner place of strength, even in a open, soft, succumbed place. Gathering in as you exhale, rolling over to one side, gathering up the knees, and lying on your side, feeling the earth supporting the body. And on your next inhale, pressing up to seated posture, letting the head be heavy as you rise shoulders up, placing that crown on top of your head, rolling the shoulders back, take a big breath. Moving hands to heart center. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. Namaste, yogis. Thank you for sharing your practice with me, and I will see you next week. Bye.